Hello, hello, wherever you are. This is the Soul Dive. My name is Lebo. I am your host. I am so thoroughly pleased to be with you here today. Of course, we have an amazingly interesting topic. Well, at least I think so, to discuss. But because this is the Soul Dive, we begin by doing a check-in. I'm calling it a tune in, okay? This is a time that we take to pull ourselves towards ourselves, to extract ourselves from whatever our day has been like, to ground ourselves in this moment, as well as quite physically in a very practical sense. I hope you will take your shoes off, put your feet on the ground, put your rusty dusty on a seat. Make a decision to relax. Right? We tune into one another's energy, we tune into our own sense of here and now and what's real, what's true in this very moment. I invite you to go ahead and find yourself a place where you can just relax for the next few minutes. It's only going to take probably about 5 to 7 minutes. Relax and bring your attention to your own breath. Get in touch with where you are at the moment, what you are feeling like in your emotions, in your physical body, etc. Right. We begin by placing a hand over the heart, just so that we are in touch with our hearts in this way. Taking a nice deep in breath and out. Giving ourselves permission to relax with each breath, taking a deep in breath and out. Another deep in breath and out. These were cleansing breaths to just kind of regulate ourselves. I invite you to go ahead and find your natural, normal breathing rhythm. Going to your normal breathing rhythm, go ahead and become more aware of that natural breathing rhythm of yours. Okay, so giving yourself permission to relax, breathing, and being aware of just where your breath is. So if your breath is shallow, that's what it is. If your breath is fast, that's what it is. But you are being aware of your breath as it is. Being aware of your breath as it's coming in. Aware of your breath as it's going out. Cultivating a full awareness of where we're at. Continuing to give yourself permission to relax, 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 relax. If at this point you feel any part of you that has got maybe a little bit of tension, you feel discomfort in any part of you, take a nice deep in-breath and channel it to that part of you. So think of the part that you need your breath to go to and bring an in-breath to that part of you. For me today, it's my back, because of course that can happen. And then out. Breathing in a cleansing breath, bringing the energy of that cleansing breath to the part that is feeling tired and tension, and then breathing out that tension. Giving yourself permission to relax. Now go ahead and feel your own heartbeat. Feeling your heartbeat, becoming aware of your heart beating. As your heart beats, you'll find that as you become more and more aware of your heartbeat, your breath will start to sync up with your heart. So just become aware of your heart. This is your body and soul connection, basically. It's like your breath coming together with your body. You becoming more centered and more aware. Still keeping your feet on the ground, firmly planted, keeping our sitting thing firmly on the chair, sunk into it in a relaxed posture. Okay. You can go ahead and keep your one hand on your knee, just relax with it. And if you like, you can also just put it on your stomach so you can feel your breath as it goes in. Maximum contact with yourself, feeling what is true and real within you in this moment. Right. Every now and then I'm still taking that deep breath because, of course, I am feeling a little bit of tension. So we use those healing breaths to just administer that energy to ourselves. You're welcome to do exactly the same. Right, as we're doing this, thoughts are coming and going. Just allow them to come and go, just like you would a number of people walking down the street as you're walking down the street in another direction. It doesn't matter. It's just people that are walking past. Don't give them attention. Don't give them importance. Bring your attention back to your breath and your heartbeat. Continuing to relax. Right. I'm sure you're much more relaxed now than in the beginning. Now move to the next step, which is to bring ourselves to mind, to bring to mind a time when we were participating in a community, either event or situation or time of coherence, connection and oneness, and that sense of community. I often like to make an example with the celebrations of our World Cup, when we all wish the very best for each of our countries and our hearts are hopeful and we are excited and celebrating our teams, standing with one voice, encouraging all of that. I want you to just bring to mind such memory. Maybe you've got one that applies specifically to your community. The point of this is that when we bring to mind certain memories, they come with the feelings, they come with the emotions, and that sense of coherence is what we are after. That sense of community is what we are after. We want to inhabit the feeling of togetherness, of community, of coherence, of oneness. We want to allow it to grow within us as a thought at first, and then as a feeling, and then as a sensation, and then filling ourselves and our environment and bringing to mind our neighborhood, town, province, even our world, as we connect worldwide with this energy of coherence, of community, of oneness within us and others. Once you have brought that thought to you, still in touch with your heart, still aware of your breath, silently or out loud, say these words with me. I choose to connect with humanity today. I send waves of love through the atmosphere. I contribute to the positive changes in the world. I see beauty in people and in my environment. I do my part to heal the world today. I send my earth home nurturing love and healing today. I set the intention to share the best of myself with the world today. So go ahead, take a nice deep in breath. As you do, raise your arms out. And as you breathe out, bring your arms back over yourself in a warm embrace, hugging yourself, and don't forget to smile. Right. That is our tune in. Remember that you can always, always take the time to do this with yourself, for your own self, for your family, for your friends, to stand in the gap and send positive thoughts and energy. You know, we often, when we hear about deaths, about suffering, about people going through difficult times, we say, oh, thoughts and prayers. This is how you do it. This is how you actually bring thoughts that bring good energy and then share it and send it to other people. That is how we do it. Okay, so today, I guess it's time to introduce the topic. Let's talk about self-care. I'm going to talk about self-care versus self-indulgence. Now, it's so easy to actually think that self-care, what's the difference? But it's important to make the distinction if we are to be actually very deliberate about how we actually live our lives. Self-care is an intentional action to nourish your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Self-care is about investing in yourself. As such, it's not necessarily about the money spent. It's not necessarily about the things that you are actually doing, in as much as it is about the outcomes that you hope you are contributing to. Self-care contributes to personal growth, to the development of a stronger self, a stronger, heightened self-awareness, and a richer connection to who you are at the very heart of you. This is what self-care really is about. It's a different thing to self-indulgent in a number of ways, and that's what we're going to talk about. You know, I wrote down, because my laptop decided that it's not playing with me today, my personal quote about self-care is that self-care is doing the responsible things that make our lives work. All right? And it goes beyond that, because self-care is about actually investing in yourself, doing things today that will also give you good results going forward. So a lot of times when we say self-care, you know, sometimes we're actually indulging simply in self-indulgence. And I will show you the differences as we go along, because once we actually see it, it's so difficult to unsee it. You know, we're talking really about that whole thing of instant gratification. You know, I've heard lines, people say things like, there isn't a slice of cake that tastes as good as them. That may just be a very good example of self-care versus self-indulgence. I'm not going to zone in on that particular subject, because if you can see me, you will know that it's one of my particularly sore subjects. But let's just say I have indulged in a little bit lots of self-indulgence. When I say to myself, oh, I will take care of my body tomorrow, but today I must indulge myself. That is the difference. Self-indulgence is very much really about instant gratification. It's about today. It's about right now. It's about what I can do right now to get what I want. You know, it's not about considering a measured approach to taking pleasure out of life in a sustainable way. It's about really just that wham bam thank you ma'am. That is self-indulgent. And yes, we stumbled across it. Self-indulgence does not care about how it affects other people, because it isn't, unlike self-care, self-indulgence is not rooted in self-love, self-respect. Self-care is rooted very much, the central ideas of self-care are very much about self-love, self-respect, about identity, your identity in you know, when you know I am a princess, and you know that princesses treat themselves like this, before you go demanding of others that they treat you a certain way, self-care is treating yourself the way that you should be. And right off the bat, I want to say that self-indulgence is really a lot of times about the central idea that says, I deserve it. There's a certain entitlement that sits right in the middle of it. You know, I remember being a child. I think I must have been about 8 years old, and my brother and I, we were sitting outside, and we were quite upset because, of course, you know, coming from a big family, it was one of my cousins' birthdays, and they had just gotten so spoiled, and they were just being showered with gifts, and they were enjoying just, it was their day in the sun. Okay, sure, I don't remember what day it was. Maybe it was their birthday. I don't know. I mean, my family was not unreasonable, so it must have been something special that they actually were spoiling them as such. But I remember us having this conversation when my brother says to me, I'm going to be my own aunt. I'm going to buy myself my own prezzies. And now I'm also, you know, putting in my 2 cents, but I am going to be my own best friend. I'm going to buy myself one, you know. And it was really just this self-indulgent moment of saying, they didn't give me what I want, so I'm going to get it for myself. And a lot of times when we are self-caring with the attitude of I'm gonna get my own, then it isn't self-care. It's a lot of times self-destructive because it's not sponsored by a good energy behind it. It's not sponsored by a good motive behind it. It doesn't have a thing that wants the best for you. It just wants you to feel pacified, indulged, given into. You know, that's the thing. And a lot of times we find ourselves that when we are treating ourselves in this way, that we are self-indulgent with ourselves, we often find ourselves demanding that the people that love us actually do the same, that they treat us how we deserve. And we put expectations on our relationships that then break the relationships, because guess what? No one can actually survive under the stress of having to indulge your every whim. And that is what self-indulgence will do. It doesn't have a stop. Aina donkey, aina Yolanda or Ichi. This was so nice. This was so. Aina gratitude. It doesn't have that sense of savoring and enjoying and appreciating what it has received. It is very much hands out. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, and there is never ever enough when you are running on the petrol of self-indulgence. So, I told you the story about, I've got another story about this. This was a tough one. I had a friend who had just, I guess she had broken up with her boyfriend, and she was like, I need to take care of myself. And then, of course, she came over. It was one of those, girl, I need a self-care weekend. So I'm thinking, this is going to be wonderful. We're going to do the things that, girls do when we're taking care of ourselves. We're going to do spas. Maybe we might go out and whatever. But like the central idea is that we are going to invest in ourselves, and we are going to actually put care and love and look after ourselves in the best possible ways. Woo! The very same night, Friday night, doesn't Ugel get ready? Get dressed, get kitted out, and say, okay, where are we going? We're going clubbing. Okay, sure, no problem. It is part of it. I mean, I can get down with the best of them. So we're going to go clubbing, no problem. But then she chooses. And this is where the difference is, you see. The difference of self-indulgence is that she chooses a place that she knows that her immediate ex is going to be at, because she needs to go flaunt her good-looking self in front of him. She needs to go show him, I don't need you. I'm doing well without you. Honey, that's not self-care. That is self-destructive self-indulgence. That is you indulging your baser self. The part of you that will send you to hell in a handbasket. The part of you that will have you pulling your tit out in a club just to show that you can because you pissed off at your ex. I don't know where that came from, but it's the type of thing. And funny enough, because it was self-indulgence and self-destructive self-indulgence at that, do you know what happened? when I wouldn't go to a place where I knew there would be a confrontation between her and her immediate ex, and then found out that even the ex before that was also at that same Aibo, no. I was like, no, we're not gonna. Yo, Pella with friendship, guy. Pella with friendship that day. Because she's like, obviously, you've never had your heart broken. You don't know what it feels like to want to show someone that you're doing well without them, that you can do this life without them. Hey, we've just come to the next point. Self-indulgence is often motivated by things that aren't wholesome and good for you. It's kind of like that thing where we do self-care things to stick it to someone else. Yeah, when I did my nails, I did my hair because I don't need you. But like, girl, you can't afford it. You don't have money for that. You had to borrow the money to do your nails and your hair. So that's not self-care if you've put yourself in debt so you can prove to someone that you can take care of yourself. That is not self-care, it's not self-love, it's not self-respect, it's not worthiness, it's not self-development or growth. It is self-destructive. It is instant gratification that is designed to really destroy you from the inside out. Doing self-care things with anger, like overspending, or, the central idea is entitlement. You find that a lot in relationships, especially now with lockdown. We may find ourselves in a situation where one partner is working, another partner is not working. And then the partner that's working is like, yo, I do too much. I also must be able to care for myself. So guess what? Knowing full well that it's not even nearly enough to cover the things that should be done, we're going to use that store card, the credit card, and go and get into deeper debt, just so that we can prove to ourselves that I deserve this. Sister, brother, don't find yourself destroying yourself because you deserve this. That entitlement is really part of the 7 sins. Gluttony, greed, lasciviousness, all those things, ismtaka, that actually create chaos down the line in our lives, then they actually even give value to our lives even right now. It's like revenge success. There you are, busy getting successful at something that you are doing just to stick it to someone. Yeah, even me, I can have a successful XYZ. Even me, I can have a successful business. Even me, I can have a big house. Meanwhile, that is not in line with who you are, what your purpose in life is, what you're supposed to be doing with your life. You literally taken the ladder of your life, plonked it against the wrong wall, and there you are busy climbing. And it can be success, you've reached the top, but it has no satisfaction for you because it was never for you. It was never the thing that was supposed to fulfill your life purpose in this life. So there you are. You have succeeded, but it's revenge success. So guess what? You have literally tried to steal somebody's thunder to show them that even you can do it. But you have missed your purpose. You have missed the line that you're supposed to be living at. So we talk some more about self-care versus self-indulgence. Self-indulgence has no regard for the effects on others. As I'm saying this, I'm remembering a certain naked emperor that indulged himself in surrounding himself with yes men and people that said, oh, you look amazing, oh, you look great, you're so beautiful, what a wonderful, radiant emperor. And he walked down the street naked because he would not hear things that build him. Hey guys, self-care sometimes hurts. Self-care sometimes costs. In the immediate time, it means doing the responsible thing to make your life work in the long term. It means bringing yourself to your mat at 6 a.m. and doing those prayers,